Hey everyone, Grant K for the Flame Learning channel. In this video, we're going to look at a new mechanism for importing media directly into Batch. Now you might be thinking that we already have something that does that. However, the old functionality was severely limiting when it came to the Flame database, media management, and general usability. I'll draw some comparisons for long-term Flame artists, but this is a major improvement on what was previously there. This video is not footage specific, so you can use your own media to follow along. Here we are in the Batch area of Flame 2017 Extension 1, and I would like you to look at the Batch node bin. In previous versions of the Flame products, if you wanted to import media into Batch without going through the Media Hub, you would have used the Read File node. All this node did was create a pointer to your media and nothing else. It was effectively a file path reference that could not be archived or media managed. Flame could not cache it for performance, and you lost loads of creative functionality because it did not exist as an actual clip in the Batch schematic reels. With workflow, media management, and pipelines so crucial in today's modern post-production, references and media pointers are not up to the job. So now you have the new import node in Batch, which brings the usefulness of importing media directly into Batch, but it also generates a proper clip that can take advantage of all the Flame has to offer. For example, drag out or double-click the import node to bring up the file browser. Everything in the media import browser looks the same at first. However, on closer examination, I'd like to point out that you have caching and proxy generation. You would not have been able to use these tools if you had just created a reference using the read node. In addition to this, all the formats, multi-channel, and color management support is all available through the import window. Now select a clip and press import. Note that the import node has created a clip in the Batch schematic, and there is also a clip available in the schematic reels. Just by that very fact that the import node generates a clip, the media can have proxies or be cached for performance. It can also be saved into the library with a Batch group, wired out to different projects or workstations, and finally archived with the project, which makes it totally managed by Flame. So how does that now work with saving Batch setups? Well, the old read node just left a file path in the Batch setup file. The import node creates a clip in the Flame database. This means that this clip has the file path as before, but it also contains a lot more metadata that the Batch setup can use. For example, when you load a Batch setup, the first thing that Flame does is scan its database for the matching media. If it does not find the clip, it will fall back to the file path to link the media to the clip in Batch. So saving the Batch setups benefit in the same way. You have the added advantage of using Flame's media management, as well as having the file path to fall back onto to remember the media. Now there is absolutely no problem mixing the media from the Media Hub, the import node, and internally generated content. And something worth remembering is that the Batch setups are now aware of where all your content originates from. So if you load a Batch setup containing generated content that does not exist in this project, but did on another workstation within the network, you will get the option to automatically wire and transfer the clips. This is also supported with path translation across the Linux and Mac platforms when correctly configured. So all these enhancements can certainly change the way you think about Batch setups, as well as the import node. Now here is something else that is really handy when importing media via the import node. Let's say you want to change or update the media in the clip. You can do this in one of two ways. You can hold Shift and double-click it. This will take you to the Flame Reels group, and you can choose a replacement clip. Or you can hold Alt-Shift and double-click on the clip. This will launch the media import window, and you can choose to replace the media. If you had created a cache, proxies, or both, they will regenerate with the newly imported replacement. Please note that in all cases, any connections you may have from the source clip will be maintained. For those of you working with multi-channel media, the import node can also be advantageous. I'll switch to a different batch group that contains a connected multi-channel clip. The multi-channel clip was imported via the import node as well. If you need to replace and update the multi-channel clip, the same two options are available, but with additional awareness. So hold Shift and double-click the clip to go back to the desktop. Here I have version 2 of the multi-channel clip. I'll choose this one and load it into batch. The multi-channel clip in the batch will update. If there are any new channels, they will be added to the list. As long as the channel naming matches, the previous connections will also be maintained. The same applies for replacing the clip via the media import window. Hold Alt and Shift double-click on the clip. I'll navigate to another version of the multi-channel media and load the clip. So all the channels are updated, any new channels are added to the clip, and all previous connections are maintained as long as the channel naming matches up. So with all the benefits of the import node, why is the read node still there? Well, firstly, it is there for legacy reasons. Secondly, the load as a version feature is not quite finished with the import node, but the team are well aware of it. So hopefully you've seen what a big improvement the import node can bring to your workflows. You can import media directly into batch via a file path, but you have all the benefits of the Flame media management and a greater flexibility when using this workflow. Be sure to check out the other features, workflows and updates to the Flame 2017 Extension 1 products. Comments, feedback and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the Flame Learning channel for future videos.